I want you not to think of when you think of allyship is that it is a self-bestowed honorarium or credential. Because I get that. I'm an ally. And if I ask that person what an ally is, I would invite you to be my ally. I would invite you to be my ally, but if you don't know me, that you could, I bet you know where I'm going, because I was talking about, you know, reading books and doing things without people who are like me. Groups of people that all look alike, sitting around and talking about me because they read a book and then saying, I'm an ally. How would you get to be my ally?
Yes, would you like to respond? Maybe spending time together in a meaningful way with other people.
Would you like a hug? That's it. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Yeah. Like, because you knew me and you had a relationship with me. And I'm like, wow, I really appreciate your allyship. But then what do you think sacred allyship is?
These are questions that we've been working with for the last 3 years, right? Yeah.
So we were having the Word of the Year in 2021. Ally was a Merriam-Webster Word of the Year, and I didn't even understand what Merriam-Webster was talking about. What? It didn't make any sense to me.
And it's an interesting question here too, with regard to my personal spiritual growth in terms of this entire exhibition, because you know when I began this, what at the time I called a project. At the time I called it the Sacred Ally Quilt Project, and this is an interesting distinction, because in my mind it was a project. It was like an arts and crafts project, because I'm not a quilter, right? I had the idea and I knew that it probably would catch. It was an interesting and really timely, extraordinary idea to bring quilting with these last words that George put. But my intention was to create a community of allies in New Hampshire, which would show the rest of the world that New Hampshire wasn't just this monolithic kind of white state where people don't care, right? So this was to be a demonstration that there's more complexity to the demographics in New Hampshire than meets the eye. Yeah? And so I set out to kind of create this community of allies, so to speak. And there were some challenges right away because it was the pandemic, right? So we couldn't get together, but we got together virtually. But we learned. I think we learned kind of quickly that my original vision was a little bit naive. And yet, we came up with this extraordinary tool, which is really much greater than the sum of its parts.
Except for one, all of the people who made those quilts, I don't even know them. I've never seen them since. Except for one, and she'd be here, but her husband's dead. So that's where I think of the allyship at the time. And at the time they're doing this work, they're thinking about why they're doing it. I know they were. But when they were done with it, hopefully they're not done with it. Maybe something else is going on, but I don't know what that is. one person who I wish could be here. And so that was the beginning of a transformation for me. So the two quilts in there that don't look anything like the others, they don't have a black background. I said, no, I'm not making a quilt. Well, no, I said, no, there's not going to be a white woman telling me how I express how I feel about what happened. Because New Hampshire's all white, you know, the black person's quilt thing. I'm like, I can't do that, don't tell me what to do. So I did what I wanted to do, and they don't look like the others. But I did them, I ended up doing them by myself. And then comes along the woman who stayed with us, and this idea that we would make a quilt together, and I'm thinking, I can't do that. I can't do that. Leave me alone. It's not happening. She got to my house at 8:30 in the morning. She's my sister. We shared a purpose. We worked together all day. And as the day went on, I was like, I could do this every day for the rest of my life with this person. And it was sacred allyship. She's like, I can't imagine my life without her.